Welcome everybody to the Pre-Accelerator pitch. Always a favorite day near the end of each quarter when we celebrate the cohort of our Pre-Accelerator with a big pitch event. Really excited to have you here today. My name is Nick Quinn. I'm part of the venture team at Invest Ottawa, and I'm joined by the most wonderful Madison Fisher, who's going to be my co-host partner in crime for this. This is our 11th cohort of the Pre-Accelerator, which is amazing to think. And now it's actually the balance has swung over. This is actually the 6th virtual pitch we've done out of the 11. Cohort 6 was actually mostly done in person, but then this little thing called COVID jumped in and had us scrambling to do the pitch in virtual setting, and we've been doing it virtual ever since. And Mads, you joined us in 2019, or sorry, 2020. So, before we were even doing this in person, and I had met you before, so I know you're not a bot or you're not some animated AI or something like that, like rumors from some of the other people in the company think you might be. But what are your thoughts on, what are some of the things that you've liked about doing these sessions virtually? Because I know you've been involved in a lot of live events before that.
Yeah, I think it's been a lot of fun. It's really fun to have the pitch finale virtual because you can connect with so many people like in Ottawa, outside of Ottawa. Maybe there's people from Ottawa at their cottages. Virtual events can be super fun. I attended my brother's virtual graduation this morning. So that was cool.
Go.
Yeah, so some fun perks of having it virtual.
And plus saved you having to travel to do all of that. So that makes sense. Yeah, and watching pitches from your cottage or from a tent or on a big screen, that's kind of fun. And certainly the chat is a fun part of it. So I see that people are already jumping in on the chat. Awesome. It's totally encouraged. It's one of the things we love about being virtual. And actually seeing in the poll that we just did, with 73% of people who've responded so far, this is their first time coming to a Pre-Accelerator pitch, which is amazing. So maybe on that note, Mads, you can give everybody a bit of an overview of what is a Pre-Accelerator, what have all of these folks gone through, so they have a bit of an understanding and context of what the Pre-Accelerator is.
Yeah, for sure. It's great to see so many people that this is their first one. So the Pre-Accelerator program is really a 10-week boot camp. It's designed for early stage tech founders. And the point of it is really to take your startup through the ringer. So we have weekly workshops that are held via Zoom, obviously, in this virtual world. And we cover a whole variety of topics, but there's a really strong focus on customer discovery. So it's always a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun that it's cohort based. So there's a group of founders going through this together, and I like being able to see how they can lean on each other and prop each other up. And yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Awesome. I love the energy of a cohort of these founders who've coming together. They're sort of meeting their tribe. They've often been doing this on their own. They, chatted with family and friends who don't really maybe get it or totally understand or think they're crazy. And then all of a sudden they meet another 20 some people who are just as crazy doing the same type of thing. So it's a lot of fun. Yeah,
exactly. And if there's anyone here in the audience who's, maybe you have an idea that's just an idea, or maybe you've started to build something, we do have our applications for the next cohort, cohort 12. They're open right now, but they close on Monday, June 28th. So I really urge, if anyone thinks they're interested, thinks they might be a good fit, I highly recommend you apply. And if anyone has any questions or they just want to chat about the program and get a better understanding, I'm always happy to reach out. So I can throw my email in the chat and you can reach out to me. And then just a few other dates to note. So cohort 12 will start July 15th, which is crazy to think that we're already in July, almost next week. And before we know it, we'll be back here again for another pitch finale. So September 16th, if you have fun today, then come back and join us again.
Yeah, and we'll see. Obviously this will be a virtual session that we're going to run for the next cohort as well. But my prediction is that we'll have a live pitch event at some point in 2021, whether it's the next cohort or the one after that, I'm not sure. We'll sort of see how things go with this COVID thingy and all the vaccinations and the state of things. But obviously we're anxious to get back to a hybrid model where we can take advantage of some of the benefits of being back in person. Okay, so let's move forward as part of this. Oh yes, and also just as a teaser to keep you around, obviously you're going to want to hang around to see who wins best pitch and who's voted best pitch by all of the attendees. But we're also going to have another announcement, at the end of the pitches. So be sure to stick around. It's kind of you'll be the first to know what's happening with some of our venture programming from an announcement that's coming later. Okay, so moving forward, this program that we run, our Pre-Accelerator, is a program that's not fully funded. That means that we have to rely on the kindness and involvement from corporate partners who are interested in helping our venture and startup ecosystem. And we have 3 amazing partners that this program wouldn't happen without them. So starting first with Logan Katz. We've got Troy joining us, who's going to be a judge here from Logan Katz. Hey, Troy. Logan Katz, full service accounting firm for a very long time in the Ottawa area, all the way up multinational. But we love them working with our Pre-Accelerator firms because they really do understand early stage, first-time founders, first-time running a business, all of the challenges of trying to run your head through the financial aspect of it, and being able to have them involved to be able to provide guidance to our founders. They're involved in some of the sessions just like everybody else is, to be able to help on the financial side is amazing. So thank you, Troy. Thank you to the whole Logan Katz team. Second, we've got RBC, and we're joined by Flaka here today. For those that have been in the startup ecosystem, they know that RBC has been leading in supporting startup founders in the tech sector for decades, starting with their KBI group, and now with RBCX. They're getting cool branding, with a new brand there that Flaka is directly involved with. So they've always had unique and innovative offerings from a banking perspective to help support early stage founders, which is tough for early stage founders, often getting things off the ground. So awesome to have you here, Flaka. And then from MDK, we're joined by Drew, local boutique law firm that focuses on early stage firms. I mean, every time I talk to Naomi and Drew, they're involved in another merger or financing or acquisition right now. It's an absolutely crazy time. So we're super appreciative of your time, Drew, of working with us and our Pre-Accelerator at this time. And obviously, it's great to have some legal perspective as you're launching your business, to get some guidance and oversight and perspective on some of the things that you need to worry about and think about early stage when you're building your business. So thank you to all 3 organizations and to all 3 of you who've joined us today as judges. And in addition, we have 2 founder judges who are also joining us. We have Sarah Sedgman joining us from Learn Experts. Hey, Sarah. Sarah's also a scale-up advisor for us on the learning side, but she has her own startup of her own with Learn Experts. She was part of cohort 3, which would have been 2 years ago. And I'm not going to throw the number out, but there's a financing about to be announced by Learn Experts that's pretty exciting. Entering the 7-figure territory is the rumor. So really excited for you, Sarah, because you've done some amazing things with that company. And thanks for your time to be here today and help on the judging side. I'm not sure whether, I think Serge was joining us remotely, globally from somewhere on the globe. But for those that don't know Serge and what Dunya Payments do, they do fintech and payment transfers, specifically in West Africa, starting with Burkina Faso, for allowing people to be able to do mobile transfers between each other, between vendors. And they've done some amazing stuff and actually joined our accelerator program now. And got a chance to chat with their CFO last night at one of our virtual events, and they're really kicking it. So Serge, hopefully you're there listening, even though we can't see you. I know that for bandwidth perspective, you're trying to keep it lean there. So awesome to have you here today. Okay, so those are our judges. They're going to be helping us vote for the best pitch. But some ground rules as we move forward with this. Obviously, I can see lots happening in the chat. Awesome. So as the pitches are happening, be sure to cheer on the founders, give them observations, give them, encouragement. If you have questions, awesome. Or if you have questions about the business, like how this is going to work, have at it in the chat. Just be respectful about it. But it's a great opportunity to do Q&A. The founders are here to do their pitch, but they've also got time to be able to answer your questions directly in the pitch. So don't be shy about asking questions or engaging them, making suggestions. This is all part of why they're part of the Pre-Accelerator and why they're here today, is to get feedback, connections, recommendations, all of that. And if you're a socialista and want to share on social, there's our hashtag with IO Pre-Accelerator, and you can tag us if you like at Invest Ottawa. So in terms of the pitches for all of those of you who are here for the first time, so each company gets 3 minutes, just 3 minutes only. In the last 10 seconds, my ugly mug's going to appear. And for those who were, there when we did it live, and I used to chase people off stage, it's meant to sort of mimic that in some way. So I might sort of like get closer and closer or something like that as the 10 seconds runs down. And they just get one slide. The slide's not meant to be a big prop or anything like that, but it's there to give you their name and company and contact information in case you want to take note and follow up with them. And there's no questions. We may do some questions at the end with some of the winners, but it's going to be really quick, really rapid. We're going to fire through these, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Now, to let you know, there is going to be a crowd favorite as well. So our judges are going to jump over and determine who they deem to be the best pitch. But you as an audience are also going to get to vote. Now, the vote, for those who've been there before, we sent you out of Zoom. This time we're going to do it within Zoom, and we're doing something different. We're going to have more audience engagement by breaking it into 2 semifinals. So halfway through, we're going to do an audience vote. You're going to vote as the best pitch for that first group, and then we'll do another semifinal, and then we'll have a showdown at the very end, just between those two. That should be very exciting, and we'll see how it unfolds. Mads, did I miss anything? Are we good?
Oh, I think we're good to get rolling, and I'm excited.
Awesome. Let's do this. All right. First up from Owato, we have Ron and Steven. Welcome, guys. Take it away. Clock will start when you start.
Can you hear us now?
We can.
Okay, perfect.
Okay,
Perfect.
yes, sorry.
All right, thank you. So good afternoon. I'm Ron Warren,
And I'm Stephen Alonzi.
and we represent the Owato, a coffee brewing solution which aims to heal the planet one cup of coffee at a time. So first, we'll start with a couple of numbers, 39,000. This represents how many coffee pods make it or actually produced each year. 29,000 represents how many of those coffee pods end up in landfill. It's an environmental disaster. So why do so many people continue to use them? From our research, we determined that customers, while concerned about the environment, weren't prepared to switch without a solution that gave them the same level of convenience, affordability, and quality. So in response to this problem, we created the Owato, a single serve device which sits in your cup to produce coffee, while at the same time being eco-friendly and convenient and also affordable.
So how is the Owato environmentally friendly? Well, our design uses no plastics and all components are 100% recyclable. The coffee grounds are easily disposed of in compost. So you're probably asking yourself, how is it that the Owato makes a brilliant cup of coffee? Well, during the brewing process, there are several key characteristics that make up an excellent cup of coffee. Most products in the current market space only utilizes a few of these characteristics. The Owato does all of them within a small package and utilizing old world technologies, and hence requiring no external product or power. With our minimum viable product utilizing our brew techniques, results from blind taste tests prove that our flavor profile exceeded our highest expectations. Our initial revenue streams will be direct to customer via retail and online sales, while secondary revenue will be in the form of such as pre-packaged biodegradable coffee pouches. Revenue growth would be developed by bulk purchase orders by large retailers and by licensing a patent.
So who is the Owato team? Our team is comprised of 3 co-founders with over 30 years of experience in product development, engineering, project management, and creative design, while also successfully running 2 companies. So we're looking to leverage our expertise to bring the Owato to market. At this time, we're looking to see who would be interested in trying our product, including investors / also mentors. We're looking to launch our product by the end of 2021. And at this time, we're inviting everyone to come to our website and join us on the Owato journey. Thank you.
Good job. Good job with some time to spare. Mads, what are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I liked it. Great job, guys. I also came across a fun fact recently that I didn't realize through the whole 10 weeks, and that is that Owato spelt backwards, like it's Ottawa spelt backwards.
Yeah.
And that blew my mind.
That just blew my mind. I didn't know that. They got to be like that. That can't be a coincidence, as they say. And plus, I hadn't realized, we talked about this at the very beginning. Owato is a cool name. Like, it's got like a bit of a cool name to it. Who knew that Ottawa spelled backwards was cool?
Right?
And it's a good one. I hate coffee. I love drinking coffee. And if I can save the planet at the same time, you're going to get a lot of trial. You're going to get a lot of first time people trying this. So, so it's going to tick some boxes there to get you guys off and running. So, all right, judges, we gave you a little bit of time. I think that we're ready to move to the next one. So next up is Stephanie from Boosted. Welcome, Stephanie. Start when you're ready.
Okay, great. You can hear me now? Excellent. Okay. So hi, my name's Stephanie, and I'm the co-founder of Boosted. And so Boosted is not your typical EdTech platform. So we are building a single hub where parents can get all the information related to school in one place. So our mission is really about breaking down barriers for parents and guardians for them to become actively involved in their child's education. We know that parent engagement is like one of the big key elements that contributes to student success. And so by creating that opportunity for them to be involved by not just making it easy, but also in a meaningful way. So not every parent can be on like a parent council or volunteer at the school, but our platform is going to allow them to be engaged in, like a really important way in terms of the education piece, as schools are always trying to find a way to get parents to be involved. So if you're talking to parents, I realize, there's this unmet need to streamline these communications. So, there's all this information having to use different apps, there's busing information, payment stuff, event reminders, all this kind of stuff that's going on. And, that's just the administrative side of things. And so by, making that aspect simpler, through a single portal, parents will have that time to focus on the educational piece itself. So we're building a user-friendly platform, and we understand that the crucial role that teachers also play, obviously. And so in this, in our environment, we make it easy and seamless for teachers to push information, to parents about what's going on, with their children, and also reduce their administrative burden, so they can also focus on the teaching aspect. They can go give us, ongoing information without parents having to wait for, those 2 report cards in a year. So teachers don't have to move away from, things that they're already using, such as, their Twitter accounts and the blogs that they're using. And, it can be integrated and they can share their updates, but parents will get in one simple place. They can log in and there's everything that they need to know about their child. So, but beyond the simplicity and the integration piece, we're also going to be using some analytics and some AI, that will really help to empower teachers and the parents. So for us, like focusing on the K-12 space, we're not only just, a one-stop shop for the communications, but we're also giving them the full picture about what's going on. They can, connect to the classroom, and then the AI and the analytics will give them the personalized insights as to what's going on with the child, and hopefully provide some helpful resources where they can continue that education outside of the classroom. On top of that, our platform will also give school boards the information about parent engagement. So it's typically done through teacher surveys and qualitative information, but now we'll actually have some stats about parent engagement, through logins and interaction, and this can be used as ongoing tracking information. So I'll leave you with this. Nelson Mandela said that, education is the most powerful weapon which we can use to change the world. And at Boosted, we're going to help facilitate, the child's educational journey and create a community that fosters education. Thank you.
Awesome. Well done, Stephanie. You know what? She did something very clever there. She was right at the 3 minutes, but she said, in closing, Nelson Mandela said, and like as if I'm going to cut off right at that point, like it's there's a lesson there for those of you, if you want to say, if you lead into something that profound is about to is said by someone famous that we want to hear from, then you might be able to buy yourself an extra 5 seconds. Well, she had me at hello, Matt. because I've got 3 kids in school and a litany of different tools, from report card portals to Google Classroom to sending money somehow, some way. How she's going to do it is a good question, but if she can achieve what she's setting out to do, I'm buying.
Yeah, absolutely. There was someone in the chat who said, as a parent who could not even with online learning this year, I am listening. So I know there's a lot of parents in those shoes.
Awesome. I just saw my boss basically saying that I'm slipping by not keeping track of coming down hard on 3 minutes. Come on, Mike. Nelson Mandela, for God's sakes. Anyway, we'll talk about that at our one-to-one. I'm sure I'll get a hand slap for that one. Thanks, Stephanie. Okay, judges, you ready? Ready for the next one? Next up, we have James from Carson Defense. James, whenever you're ready, sir.
Hello, Invest Ottawa. My name is James Brown from Carson Defense. I'm creating the world's first and only highly effective, safe, and reusable stun grenade. A stun grenade, also known as a flashbang or diversion device, creates a vast amount of light and sound in a room to temporarily distract and disorient people. In theory, this effect gives the special forces or police tactical officers a couple of seconds to make entry into a room and make a decision. Although stun grenades are marketed as non-lethal, these devices can only be used by highly trained individuals because they are dangerous. That is the problem. The blast from a stun grenade can cause fires, injury, or death to both the user and the general public. Other harmful side effects include mild traumatic brain injury and respiratory disease from dust inhalation. The main job of a police officer is to serve and protect the public. With the recent rise in civil unrest, it is more important now than ever to give police officers the tools to safely and effectively do their job. For every one use on missions, the stun grenade is used about 200 times or more in training, which reinforces the need for safe equipment. Also, these devices are one-time use only, and it leads to a lot of waste. My solution is the Electronic Distraction Device, or EDD. This device uses patented technology and creates an enormous amount of light and sound and is much safer and reusable. It will not cause fires, brain injuries, or accidental deaths. This means that it's going to be used more often and potentially by a larger user base. It is estimated that NATO and Five Eyes countries spends about $70 million per year on flashbangs for police, tactical officers, and special forces alone. With a safer device, I could supply the big military and general law enforcement as well. This could potentially mean a 30 times larger market. I am a 20-year military veteran with 17 years in special operations. My unique advantage over competitors is that I bring a level of credibility. I have the experience as an end user, and I have a rare level of access to end users and purchase managers. The EDD is a proof of concept number 2, and I've obtained a US provisional patent. I'm evaluating manufacturing in the NCR, and testing of a prototype will be complete by end October. First sales to D&D is expected by the end of next January. What I'm asking for today is additional support from Invest Ottawa in bringing my idea from prototype to productization. Thank you.
Okay, good job. I mean, James, that is pretty cool. That was one of the first ones that this is one of the ones that I came back and I told my kids about, just sort of to make my job seem cool about what's happening here. But to me, my vision of this is sort of how Spider-Man used to catch people in the web and they never got hurt because they were all wrapped up in those, in the web and stuff like that. And it never happened like that in real life. James is basically, he's sort of like Spider-Man. Maybe he's more like Batman or something. Mads, what do you think?
Yeah, I think James did a really good job. I think that when he first started the program, I know in one of our first socials, he was describing it. And that's kind of what you were saying. You're like, so what? You're Batman? This gives you special powers. And I think through the program, he's gotten really good at being able to articulate exactly what it is that he is building. And then, yeah, he kind of is like Batman. So that's been really cool to see. And I guess we have a Batman as our founder. Yeah,
it's a bit crazy to see. Obviously, there's a purpose to the grenades that have been used in past, but kind of scary to think of the damage that's been done there. And if he can fix it, that would be amazing. Awesome. Yeah, our very own Bruce Wayne. Very good, Aaron. Very good. Okay. Judges, you're ready. We're next to move on to Athulia from Crunch. Whenever you're ready.
All right. Hey everyone, so my name is Athulia Ben and I'm here to present Crunch. So picture this, you come home after a long day at work, starving and ready for dinner. You open the fridge, but it's empty. No problem though, you can get some Chinese food delivered since you've been craving it all week. You want to get the best bang for your buck, so that means a restaurant with the lowest delivery fees and at least a 4-star rating. And since you're super hungry, delivery in less than 30 minutes would be ideal. Searching all of that on Uber Eats and DoorDash and Skip the Dishes, that'll take so much time. Conflicted, you make the hard choice of deciding that less time is more important than lower fees, and that you'll only look on Uber Eats instead of all the other apps. Crunch, a takeout search engine which helps you save time and money. We're like the Expedia of ordering food, aggregating accurate and relevant information such as fees, time, and ratings from the services you know and love all in one place. With a variety of filtering options, finding a restaurant that meets your criteria is quick and simple. And getting to the next step of ordering is just a click away. Because Crunch shows you fresh results, you know you're getting the most up-to-date information on every single search. Crunch is just a small but mighty team of 2 people right now. We saw the need for this app having stood in front of an empty fridge many times ourselves. Okay, fine, you got me. Maybe sometimes we just wanted to eat out. So with our strong technical backgrounds, we were able to put together a working proof of concept. And now we want to share it with all of you. This is exactly why we joined Invest Ottawa, to improve our knowledge on the business side of things. We want to learn from mentors who know a lot about startups and the work that goes into them, and also from teams just like us who are starting from the ground up. But this is only the beginning. We're very passionate about where this app can go. Okay, so I know you're all wondering this probably, so I'll just say it. You can start using Crunch today. Simply visit crunchapp.ca on your phone or desktop. Go ahead, pull out your phones and do it right now. Like, I won't take it personally. So for early 2022, we have even bigger plans, which we know we can execute. iOS and Android apps to track more users, a pickup option, menu views. Okay, I'm getting too excited just talking about them all because I love features. And in the long term, we also think Crunch is very well positioned to help restaurants market their own delivery and pickup options. So if you're interested in hearing more about our plans or have any advice for us in other areas such as marketing, please reach out to us at ceo@crunchapp.ca. In the meantime, head on over to our website to sign up for notifications and let us save you time and money on takeout. Thank you.
Awesome job, Athulia. Awesome job. Mads, what do you think? Is this something were you busy on your phone? You save it for later? You're gonna go to Crunch? What's the deal?
Oh yeah, I need it. I didn't know that like I could already use this and I've been needing it. So this is really the moment I've been waiting for. I'm so excited. Yeah, I can't wait to use it. When I was stuck in quarantine, this is exactly the type of thing that I needed because
I know. Yeah, you go back and forth sometimes between the apps. What's on what? I can't remember what I ordered from where, and you get kind of lost. I love the way that she positioned it as sort of the Expedia of ordering food. I love the way that she got, hey, go sign up for the app now. She took advantage of the audience. She's got a lot of people on here. She's got some beta users that are jumping on there already, and I loved her enthusiasm too. It was really good.
I love it. People seem really excited in the chat as well.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. Judges look ready. Next up, we have Michael from Driven Sport. Take it away, Michael.
Yeah, thank you guys. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Michael Alameo from Driven Sport AI. I'm here to present our athlete performance platform that enables health professionals to optimize human performance by predicting injuries before they happen. So before we begin, I'd like to share the story of Derrick Rose, who's a professional basketball player and suffered 18 contactless injuries to start his career. Contactless injuries are injuries that occur using your own body, and it's your own body mechanics, or they are not due to any external factors. And because they were considered uncorrelated, they led to a serious ACL injury in 2003 that cost Derrick 257 games and over $100 million in lost salary. Contactless injuries cost major league sports teams $20 billion a year annually. And they're not just affecting sports. 80% of injuries in Canada are considered contactless, costing the Canadian healthcare system over $5 billion. What makes those numbers staggering is that's just the initial treatment cost. So contactless injuries are a problem, a growing concern, but not only are they preventable, they're predictable. And we prove that by building our cloud-based management system that ingests various different types of biofeedback and wearable technology data and turns that data into actionable steps. So imagine any health professional, physio, chiro, doctor, trainer who has access to a phone or tablet, one, being notified of potential injuries before they occur, and two, being recommended with the correct action items and protocols that they could send directly to the client in real time. Our platform is an annual subscription that retails between $33,000 and $65,000, depending on key features and customizations from sports academies, clinics, or sports teams, and was recently purchased by Pro Sports Management, that's a player agency, and was using our player data to recruit potential athletes. They're looking to become distributors of our product in the USL, the soccer league in the States, and the MLS, which is the Canadian Soccer League. Our team is composed of myself and two board advisors, Khalid Gadban, who's an ex-partner at IBM and was involved in the IBM Watson project, as well as Solon Angel, who's the founder at MindBridge AI and built the world's first AI financial risk assessment platform, and sees direct parallel between the technology stack at MindBridge and what we're building at Driven AI. We're looking to raise $400,000 to complete version 2 and version 3 of our product for 10 Canadian sports academies and 3 professional teams in the States. With the resources and guidance at Invest Ottawa, we're looking to not just continue to enable health professionals to prevent injury, but really start to understand the science behind what drives optimal human performance. Thank you.
Awesome job, Michael. Okay, this is pretty cool. I don't know who out there have seen Minority Report from 2002, where they could determine that crimes were going to happen in advance. Tom Cruise, good movie. There's a lot of actually forward-looking stuff happen in that, like for customized. Anyway, just go watch the movie. But it's like, this is the same type of thing where you're able to predict something in advance and stop it from happening. Super cool. Plus, it would be good for my fantasy sports better. I run into trouble with injuries in my fantasy sports. Mads, what do you think?
Priorities with the fantasy sports, for sure. Yeah, this feels very superhuman-y. I love it.
Very cool. But it's intimidating too to think of the equipment or I'd love to know more. I know we only have so much time around the science of it, like the ingested, and then the how you're actually doing it. Like, what is this machine that hooks up to me that knows what's going to go wrong first? And do I want to know? I think I want to know, but very, very cool. And I love the name dropping with Solon in there, and the momentum he's got. Well played, Michael. Well played. Really good. Okay. So these judges look ready. We're on to the last founder in our first round here. We've got Saman from Emoji Genius. Take it away, Saman.
All right. Thank you, Nick. Can you hear me? All right. Awesome. Big fan, by the way. I loved you in Arrested Development. Emoji Genius is developing a CRO tool to help digital marketers increase click-through rate and drive sales by selecting the most effective emoji for their particular audience. If you have a business with online presence, your marketing team is constantly looking for ways to improve your conversions. They do this by improving your website's performance or improving your content through a systematic process called conversion rate optimization, or CRO for short. 8 research studies have determined that using emojis can increase click-through rate and brand interactions by up to 57%, depending on the context, audience, and the emoji used. You can find the links to these studies on our website. Emoji is the fastest growing language on the planet and is only going to become more mainstream. It is used in almost every means of communication and has been proven effective in boosting engagement. The problem is, marketers don't have in-depth experience with emojis and struggle to communicate clearly using them. Choosing the wrong emoji can send the wrong message and cause more harm than good. Plus, based on my customer interviews, digital marketers don't know how to choose the most effective emojis for a particular market segment or audience. To address these problems, we introduce smart emojis. A smart emoji is an HTML tag that you add to your website instead of a regular emoji. As the web page is being loaded, our predictive engine chooses the perfect emoji for your needs. If you're a business, that means increasing your engagement, leads, and ultimately sales. If you're a nonprofit, that means getting your message across, getting more volunteers to sign up, and collecting more donations. Our technology is data-driven, predictive, and foolproof. Smart Emojis operates using split testing and at the same time trains a machine learning model. Unlike the existing CRO solutions, our smart emojis can work autonomously with no supervision or maintenance necessary. Just set it and forget it. My name is Saman, and I'm the founder of Emoji Genius. I have a master's degree in computer science, and I specialize in data science, machine learning, and natural language processing. I created the prototype of Emoji Genius for my personal use and decided to advance it and share it with the world. As for our milestones, we will launch the pilot within the next 6 months and go for public release sometime next year. To all entrepreneurs out there, Invest Ottawa's Pre-Excel is an exceptional program made possible by an amazing group of people, and I definitely recommend it. Finally, to follow our journey and see how we can help your business, please visit our website. Emoji is a language, and Emoji Genius is building the right tools for it. Thank you.
Well done, Saman. I like how he dropped in a little props for us there, Mads. That never hurts, right? If you have the extra time.
Brownie points, I think.
Emojis are a language, Mads. What do you think? Are you you're a big emoji? I've seen you use emojis before.
Yeah, I'm an emoji girl for sure. I know Saman is a big research person, so I did a little bit of my own research earlier today. And do you know the most commonly used emoji? Any guesses?
Poop.
That was one of my guesses too, but no, it's the face with tears of joy. That's what they call it, like the crying, laughing. Yeah, I thought that was
I've misused that one a few times. Some people have corrected me in group chat that I've used that one when I meant to be demonstrating I'm sad because something bad happened, but it looked like I was laughing so hard at the person. So that is something that Emoji Genius could have helped me with in terms of making sure. But it's actually made me think about emojis too, because it is how do you read tone? Right? Like how do I, people have read tone in all of our, copy that we've written, emails, texts, or what have you. And emojis is a way to sort of frame and almost add body language and something subliminal so that people can take it in the right context. So well done. Okay, so we are done the first round. You're about to get a opportunity to vote on one of the first 6. So you see them all here. You're going to see a poll appear any second that will give you the opportunity to vote on who you think had the best pitch out of the first 6 pitchers. Gives our judges a chance as well to refine their rubric and their judging scheme for the first 6. All right, and we see the poll is up and the votes are coming in.
Yeah, they seem to be coming in fast. Make sure to cast your vote. We'll only leave it open for
another 20 seconds, 15 seconds. Once it slows down, we'll lock it down. But I see we've got a good chunk. The majority of people have already voted already. Awesome. Cool. So you can continue to finish up your vote. We're going to close that off any second. And we're ready to move on to the second round. First up, we've got Eric from Gold Tongue. Take it away, Eric, when you're ready.
Hey, everyone. So if you're learning a new language for the first time, one of the most important skills you can develop is pronunciation. And that is because if you don't know how to pronounce correctly, it's going to be difficult for native speakers to understand you. It'll be hard for for you to understand native speakers as well, and it really impacts your confidence. So it's a really big deal to be able to speak with an excellent pronunciation. The problem is for most of us as adults, it's quite a difficult skill to develop beyond a certain age. So this is a problem that's been passed down to language apps, schools, companies, but the reality is it's a very resource intensive, very difficult problem to solve. And the reality is most language apps, schools, and companies simply don't know how to solve this problem. So they just don't do it. And the impact this has on their businesses is lower customer referrals, less customer satisfaction, Like their students just aren't getting fluent, and that has a real impact on their revenue. So Gold Tongue is a mobile app for language apps, schools, and companies to help them get their students to develop just a native level flawless pronunciation in 2 weeks or less. So the way to learn how to pronounce a new language is to break that language up into individual sounds and then to learn each of those individual sounds. And the way to master an individual sound is to hear it, repeat it, and then get immediate feedback on your attempt. So maybe it goes something like this, no, no, almost. Close your mouth a little bit more for that sound. Almost, you've got it. No, yes, yes, perfect, perfect, perfect. And now you can hear it. And because you can hear it, you can pronounce it. And then you can move right on to the next sound. And this entire process goes really quickly. It's really fun. It's really fast. And it's highly precise. And this solves a lot of problems for an industry that is worth $50 billion. So my background is in linguistics and computer science. I actually have a very successful Spanish school for older adults. And yeah, I started building this prototype last March. And so far, the federal government has already invited us to run a pilot research program with them. They're really interested in these results and deploying the technology in-house. So we're going to start that pilot 3 weeks from now. Really excited about that. We're also going to be running tests with our own students in our Spanish school. And the next step beyond that is going to be to start selling licensing agreements with private language schools. So big thanks to the IO team. You guys have been a huge help. And if you guys know anyone who's interested in picking up a flawless pronunciation, please send me an email. Thanks so much.
Awesome. Great pitch, Eric. What do you think, Mads? You need some help with some of your pronunciation? You're probably, like, knowing you probably speak like 7 languages perfectly anyway.
Oh, do I look like the type? Okay, we'll go with that. We'll go with that. I speak 7 languages perfectly. But for my 8th language, I love this. I mean, he even says it's fun. So if you can help to teach me a new language and get me at that native level speaking, I'm there for it.
I like the way that Eric laid it out both in the slide and in the pitch of the iterative feedback sort of loop that you need for pronunciation. It makes you think about every time you've been in learning a language of some sort, that it's always about just the grammatical structure rather than how you print, how you bastardize the language and someone giving you the feedback of how to fix that. Although at some point we do have to talk about the name Gold Tongue. It's a very controversial name like when we talked about this, it sounds like a Bond villain or something that would be in a haiku or something like that. But the more I've heard it, the more I think it's genius because we're talking about the name. And maybe that's all that you're really looking for in the name of a company.
Absolutely. We remember it for sure. So I think it's working.
I think it is. Okay, awesome. Next up, judges are ready. Paul from Highlight, whenever you're ready, Paul. You're muted, Paul. We'll start over for you. There you go. I think you're good now. Testing.
Sorry about that.
It's okay.
I'm using new technology here.
It's okay. We're very amenable folk. Contrary to your reputation, we're going to let you start whenever you're ready.
Perfect. The problem that artists were facing even before COVID is that gallery space is disappearing. There are fewer spaces for artists to exhibit work or ways to support themselves. And now things are even worse. The local communities artists depend on for clients and feedback are fading or moving online. The traditional ways artists made money were from exhibition fees and sales, and those opportunities are drying up. My solution is Highlight, an augmented reality mobile application I created where artists can get paid by contributing to any outdoor space. It encourages creatives to insert their works where they will stay in place thanks to GPS for locals to find. Users can engage with everything surrounding them on their own phones, which will help manifest more exciting communities. Highlight gives artists access to the growing passion economy, a platform to receive micropayments from fans and links leading visitors to their shops. Imagine this. You and a friend go for a walk to a park where a local business improvement association commissioned a group of artists to fill with hundreds of unique photos of people from the community. You spend an hour walking through the park and enjoying the community art through your phones. Of course, it's all augmented reality, but there are hundreds of other people also enjoying the space. Folks around you are posing for photos with the art, and strangers are chatting with each other about the experience. You snap some selfies, both of you tip the artist for their work, and your friend connects with an artist all through the app. Since you're in the neighborhood, you grab lunch from one of the local businesses that sponsored the show. While eating, you connect to one of the artist's Shopify stores, where your friend orders a t-shirt and you decide to buy a small original work for your wall. What makes Highlight's approach different is that we are turning all outdoor space into permanent places for artists to animate. The app provides community, collaborative spaces, and connections to artists' marketplaces. For locals, it adds creativity and unique experiences to their neighborhoods. Highlight's method is to strengthen local communities around places that could be underused. As a professional artist for 20 years, I have witnessed most of Ottawa's commercial galleries close. As an artist administrator, I see the daily reality for artists becoming harsher. I've watched opportunities for artists becoming relegated to social media. I know Highlight can do better for all creatives. In the last month, the App Store has approved Highlight for download. Starting July 10th, we will begin to animate the platform for Ottawa Art City, an art festival using Highlight. We already have 40 artists, major arts organizations like the Ottawa Art Gallery, the City of Ottawa's Public Art Collection, and Shopify involved with the event. In August, a festival in Gatineau will use the app, and we're planning to have arts organizations in 3 other cities hosting events by the last week of September. I will make a small commission off of tips and earn service fees by helping the event set up their projects. After the festival, we expect artists to continue uploading content to the augmented reality in their neighborhoods. If you know any artists, please tell them about Highlight and the festival. I welcome you all to attend Ottawa Art City. Go to my webpage, download the app, and please show up for the artists. I am also looking for individuals who are interested in working with me to take the company into the future. Thanks for listening to my pitch about augmented reality and the Ottawa art scene.
Awesome, Paul. Thank you. And yeah, on behalf of Invest Ottawa, that's been working on the Digital Main Street program for the last year, I can tell you that the artist community absolutely needs your help and more. So Mads, what do you think? I mean, I still play Pokemon Go every day, so maybe I'm in a unique position where I'm obviously, you know, like the early adopter of this type of augmented reality tool, but what do you think?
That's what I was gonna say. Every time I hear Paul talk about this, it makes me think of like a sophisticated Pokemon Go. Like you really want to do it, everyone's going to be doing it, it's going to be cool, but there's going to be some level of like class because you're looking at art, you're supporting artists. I think it's really cool. I want to attend the festival.
I think it's cool too because, you know, you could look at a map and see that there's art somewhere, but you need to go there. It actually forces you, you know, you could see people going on a walk and saying, you know, deviating their walk and changing on their walk because they want to see, you know, what type of art has been put somewhere else, or if they like see an artist put something somewhere else, somewhere that they love, they could be like, oh, well, where else have they posted? Maybe I'm going to go check out that spot in the city where they posted another piece of art. It's really, really cool idea. And if you can get the significant mass going, like, you know, get the machine going, then, you know, I think that the revenue model can almost take care of itself in the right situation. Awesome. So great job, Paul. Okay, judges look ready. We're ready to move on. Linda, whenever you're ready from Nifty.
Can you hear me? Okay, perfect. Let me tell you about Malika. Her brother Jacob developed an eating disorder. She didn't know where to turn to for help as mental illness is not something they talk about in her community. She spent hours calling places she found on long and outdated lists. She struggled to find anyone who could understand Jacob, a gay, francophone, Black Muslim. Her brother's condition worsened, leading to hospitalization, where he was then placed on a 1-year waiting list for therapy. She had to take a leave from work to take care of him and developed severe anxiety. Others are falling through the cracks too. 1 in 3 Canadians over 15 are not satisfied with their mental health care. And in some communities, it's worse. Suicide rates among Inuit youth are 11 times the national average. I can relate. I've lived with mental illness my whole life. I've also been a business consultant, board member, and conference speaker in the industry, and then became a go-to resource for many people. All of which led me to see the need to start Nifty. As a Yelp of mental health services, it will bring together resources from crisis lines to therapist matching apps like BetterHelp into one Nifty hub for and by racialized and marginalized people. Within minutes, everyone from help seekers, police, teachers, and priests will be able to find services they didn't know existed within their price range or insurance coverage, with high user ratings, suitable wait times, in the language of their choice, virtually or in person, with culturally competent services and wheelchair accessible locations. The most personalized, reliable, and hassle-free solution out there. Organizations could then subscribe to real-time AI-enabled industry data to help them build better services. Like Dove, we will disrupt the industry to allow communities to talk about Nifty without taboo. Events of the past year have created a deep sense of urgency and push for solutions globally. In 4 months, on top of my day job, I had 45 Canadian youth mental health advocates sign up as volunteers, acquired a database of 4,000 national resources, and established key partnerships like CHIO's ementalhealth.ca, the Institute for Advancements in Mental Health, and the African-Canadian Association. Partnerships that should give us access to thousands of people we could interview to build our MVP and non-dilutive grant opportunities to bring us to market. I have a growing team from top companies with marketing, engineering, diversity and inclusion, and medical backgrounds volunteering to help build Nifty. I have advisors with experience raising millions of dollars. And finally, we're in advanced discussions to get involved in an Ottawa mental health strategy that would ideally allow us to pilot citywide. If you or someone you know wants to get involved, especially anyone in data science or product management, we'd love to have a chat. With 1 death by suicide every 40 seconds, we will have lost 135 people by the end of this event. So you see, it's not just about what we have to gain creating Nifty, it's about who we may lose if we don't. Let's help people like Malika focus on getting better rather than getting worse trying. Thank you.
Awesome, Linda. Awesome. And that's a pretty amazing stat that you mentioned there at the end to give context on just what happens in such a short window of time. And I think that, COVID has obviously made mental health a major issue all over the place, and access to it an even bigger challenge. Mads, what do you think?
Yeah, that was just like a sucker punch there at the end, but it makes it memorable. It makes you remember Nifty. So yeah, great job, Linda. And yeah, I'm proud of her, everything that she's doing.
It's amazing. And you know what? And truthfully, Linda has got to keep keep working that, because she will have more support just because of what she's doing. There's going to be more and more support for her out there, and she'll be able to leverage that. So that's awesome. Okay. Next up, we have Guy from Prolo. Guy, whenever you're ready.
All right. Just you can hear me?
We can.
All right. Well, good day, everyone, and thank you for your time and support. I'm Guy Levert, and I'm going to present to you my idea called Prolo.biz. So Prolo.biz is a two-sided marketplace application helping people find locally made products and helping businesses sell their products. Our vision is that stronger local economies will lead to healthier communities. My friend Luke loves espresso coffee. Luke was wanting to buy 2 new espresso cups to add to his collection, but he wanted those cups to be made locally by an artisan near where he lives. And he wanted to find out more about this artisan, how does he make the cups, what's the story, etc. So Maggie is owns a cheese factory. She's my cousin, actually. And our products are found in many of the Ottawa, Outaouais shops, but Maggie would like to gain more visibility for a shop near where she is, where her production is. And she would like to have visitors and tourists find her shop and meet with them to chat and get feedback for the products she makes. Our research is showing that small businesses are having a hard time marketing their products. They may have a Facebook site or a website, but they have very little time to keep those up to date. Productions come first. So the consumer, on the consumer side, finding locally made products is kind of like trying to find a needle in a Google haystack. So what's the solution? Prolo.biz. Prolo will contain only locally made products. Prolo gives the producer story, so on the site directly, so you can find out who they are and how they make what they make. And Prolo will provide quick search with a simple click of a button, like you see on the screen, like a near me button, wherever you are. Prolo gives you access to notifications, if you want, to tell you when certain products are ready for purchase. For example, when are the strawberries ready? And Prolo will contain community features, increasing the producer-consumer relationship. And as well, Prolo helps you plan your next trip, so you can find locally made products wherever you're going to go on your next trip, and then tag them. And then once you're there, you can actually look at them and see them. I have 35 years experience in IT software industry. I completed a bachelor's of computer science and a master's of education. I own 2 companies, one in '93 in software industry and '92 in online learning. I work in the private sector for 21 years and in the public sector for 14 years. Our ask today is to expand our development team, more specifically expertise with Visual Studio Code and React environment. Our milestones: August 2021, beta testing with early adopters. March 2022, launching Prolo.biz. And from then on, growing from 20 new businesses and 15 new consumers per month. So what are you going to use to find locally made products? Thank you.
Great job, Guy. Great job. Yeah, and you know, again, going back to the digital Main Street and how we've been on the front lines working with a bunch of early stage companies, it is really difficult for those companies to get to the, you know, to be able to convince the Google to put them ahead of some large, you know, chain, multinational, whatever it might be, that's selling the same type of product, and to factor in the sentiment of the searcher that maybe they want to support local more.
Yeah, there can never be too much support for those local businesses. So
Love the idea of being able to filter locally, and I'm sure there'd be massive demand that would carry across many cities, because everybody is looking. The sentiment is there to help your local and small business. That's for sure.
Yeah, and just a reminder for everyone in the chat, make sure you're using the all panelists and attendees little tab there. That way everyone can participate and see what you have to say.
Yeah, that's a classic Zoom oof that people make. Make sure you check who you're sending it to. Okay, next up, I think we're ready. We've got Sebastian from Qual Recruit.
Hey folks, can you see me okay? Great. So you might be wondering what you're looking at here. This is the back room of a focus group facility. And for market researchers, it can be a very tense place. So through that one-way glass that you can see there, we can watch a skilled moderator tease out what consumers really think of a product or an ad just before it and the millions that our client has invested in it hits the market. That's when things go well. But on a bad day, our client, maybe our client's ad agency, has flown out to the facility with us. We take our seats and we wait for their target consumers to walk through the door, and wait and wait and wait, because nobody's coming, or not enough people are coming, or the wrong people are coming. On a bad day, our research doesn't happen, refunds are demanded, and relationships with clients are destroyed. The lows can be very low in market research. And the people we rely on to separate us from the low lows are our recruiters, people who specialize in finding qualifying individuals for qualitative studies and getting them to the right place at the right time, whether it's an online platform or a physical room, just like this one. So with all of this riding on recruitment, how do most qualitative researchers choose a recruiter? We email somebody we've worked with. Or if we don't have much experience in qualitative research, we go to Google and find somebody who comes up. Qualitative researchers in the US and Canada spent $760 million on recruitment last year, and the vast majority of them without shopping around. Qual Recruit offers the world's first online marketplace for qualitative recruitment. Researchers tell us who they need and when and where they need them, and then we push their request out to every recruiter who can fulfill it and invite them to bid. As recruiters bid, researchers can view all of their responses to their request displayed on a simple dashboard in real time, where they can easily compare everyone's estimated cost, turnaround time, and most importantly, a trust rating based on past reviews by researchers like them. Researchers can award the project with a single click from their dashboard and be off to the races. Our platform equips researchers to easily find faster, more reliable, and more affordable recruitment services. And it's free. Right now, we've opened our initial invite-only beta for recruiters and research agencies to join, and we're looking towards a full product release in fall of 2021. Our team consists of programmers, researchers, and business professionals who bring a diverse background across a range of industries, and we're looking to make friends. Today, we're looking for investors, founders, tech-minded individuals, and other market researchers to get in touch with us, become part of our broader community, and share their advice and experience as we navigate the startup journey. We're looking for people who have been down this road before. If that sounds like you, please drop me a line.
All right, good job, Sebastian. Yeah, I mean, the old school focus group recruitment strategy seems to be archaic, especially, you know, even before COVID. Seems to make sense to be able to draw in a wider group that or from a wider group rather than the proximity of trying to get everybody in the same room. What do you think, Matt?
Yeah, I think anything to help like streamline this process is just really helpful. I mean, having that marketplace where you can go, you can post exactly what you're looking for, and then be able to pick from a variety of people. I think that, I mean, sounds great to me. I'm no qualitative recruiter, but sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, and I think there's so much quantitative data that's out there that the qualitative data is going to be incredibly important to hear people speak and the sentiment and the emotion that they have. So this is not an industry that's going anywhere. It's going to be needed perhaps more than ever, given the gobs of sort of quantitative data that'll really give some insight to marketers. So great job, Sebastian. Okay, we're on to our last one. Patrick and Kayla from Vouch It. So whenever you're ready, guys.
Hello, I'm Patrick Jobin, and this is my wife, Kayla, and we are the founders of Vouch It. Digital advertising is a massive industry worth an estimated $450 billion this year alone. And marketers are facing some challenges. ROI is declining due to oversaturation. Ad platforms are placing limits on bidding options and transparency, and large companies with huge budgets have an advantage over smaller businesses. But what if? What if you could leverage your existing client data in order to extract optimizations that could massively improve the performance of your digital campaigns? Vouch It is like having your very own data scientist. Vouch It takes in any kind of geographic data, whether it's addresses, IP addresses, geo coordinates, and using artificial intelligence and statistical inference, makes predictions about where your future clients will come from and what behaviors they will exhibit. We call this predictive behavioral geofencing. The market for geofencing is growing by about 30% per year. Location is one of the most critical variables in any digital campaign across all platforms, and in a post-COVID world, is going to be more important than ever. Best of all, everything happens in the background. If you can copy and paste, you can use Vouch It without any training. We've developed our MVP and are beta testing with a number of select clients in order to adjust the features and functionality according to their requirements. We're also working with a major public sector institution in order to perform econometric predictions. Sorry about that. Here's where we see ourselves in 3 years. 2 million annual recurring revenue from digital agencies through direct outreach and community engagement. 1 million annual recurring revenue from small businesses through word of mouth and content marketing. 500,000 annual recurring revenue from public sector institutions. We plan to leverage the learnings and relationships accrued over the first 3 years in order to achieve $20 million annual recurring revenue within the first 5 years by building out our features and capabilities according to market demand. We're currently looking for mentorship and partnership opportunities and also aligning ourselves for potential investment once we hit a product market fit event. When it comes to digital marketing, Vouch It lets you keep just the sweet, juicy center of the watermelon and throw the rest away. And we invite you to come along with us on this journey. Thank you.
All right, well done. I like how he saved the sweet, juicy watermelon right to the end. Just gonna like drop the mic with that one. What do you think, Mads?
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, it's really great to see. And I liked how, I didn't actually know this, but they told me that they invented or coined the term predictive behavioral geofencing, which is really cool because it sounds like something that everyone needs to know about. So
that should have existed before.
Yeah.
I like their visual that they put in place. It also maps are cool when you can map out and show data in a mapping way. And any marketer or any type of enthusiast would look at that map and sort of see some of the data that you could glean from it. And it is super cool. Okay, well, I think that's it. Hey, Mads, we've ran through, so it's time for our next semifinal. Now, before the now our judges. You can go to your sequestered little judges room. I hear it's a cushy lounge somewhere where you all get to hang out and never get invited. But anyway, you guys go have your fun and play your reindeer games back there and figure out your top pitch amongst you. and we'll go to business here in figuring out from a crowd favorite perspective, who's going to, we'll have another poll popping up now that's going to show the results or show you the ability to vote. Here we go, pops up. Allow you to vote on the second group of who you think should be in the final showdown for top pitch, at least from the attendee perspective. Awesome, we're seeing all the votes roll in here. Pretty tight, very cool. Excellent. And what we're going to do is we're going to allow you to vote for that. We'll give you another 20 seconds or so to get your votes in, just prod you along here. I know some of you are probably on the fence. It is a tough choice, and oh yeah, this is a tight one. This is going to be tight.
Yeah, it's a tough decision. I think I said after every pitch, oh, I love that one. Oh, I'm excited. So I'm glad I don't have to vote.
I know, I hear you. I hear you. It makes it easier. We can just sit back and see what the wisdom of crowds does here. Okay, so we are going to announce the two semifinalist winners in a few minutes. In the meantime, we have a bit of an announcement. Yeah, so thanks everybody, great job. Those were really great pitches. Everyone did well. Didn't have to cut off anybody at 3 minutes. The only one who went past 3 minutes played it very well, as noted. So wasn't going to cut her off on Mandela. So awesome job, everybody. Okay, so moving forward, we've got a bit of this is time for a little bit of our announcement. And it has to do with a name change. So for those of you who've attended events and been very familiar with our Pre-Accelerator, it has become known as the Pre-Accelerator. It has a brand of itself, but going back to the history of this name, in 2018, when we were launching our accelerator, we realized we needed programming in advance of that, something that was more about helping founders get their idea off the ground. And as Madison said, sort of take it through the meat grinder and go through the fundamentals of starting a startup. So, intuitively, we just called it a pre-accelerator because, it's kind of like, if you don't know what to call it, you get a cat, you call it cat, you got a boat, you call it boat. And it became known as our pre-accelerator, and it worked. But the reality is it was functional, but pre-accelerate, like it's so many syllables, it's a mouthful. It never got a short form. Everyone still referred to it. It never got PA or pre-accelerator or a brand of its own. It's obviously not the coolest or sexiest name. And it's also difficult to create a brand behind it that's unique, because Pre-Accelerator, there are other programs that have alluded or referred to themselves as Pre-Accelerator. So with all of that, we decided a name change, and this has been in the works. We've recognized this for quite some time. But today is the big reveal of the new name. Yes, drum roll, please. And if we were doing this in person, there would be fireworks, there would be music, there would be all sorts of things, but we can't do that. So we will just do the reveal now. IO Ignition. Yes, there we go. IO Ignition. We want to hear what you think. Throw it in the chat. Again, if we did it in person, Ignite, Ignition, like I had plans, like Madison and I were going to dress up in outfits, Katniss Everdeen, and like where you turn around and you light on fire, and there would be pyrotechnics and motor engines starting, and we would have done all of that. So that's one of the things we're missing. Madison's shaking her head like she wouldn't have participated, but it would have been a job requirement. I'm sure it would have been safe to do so. We would have got Cena or whatever that guy's name was, Lenny Kravitz, played in Hunger Games to design the outfit for us. So what do you think, Matt? What do you think of the new name?
Yeah, well, first of all, I think I would have left the costume to you, just to have all the spotlight on you. Let that be your moment.
All right, I would have run with that. I could be girl on fire, boy on fire.
Yeah. But the name, IO Ignition, I like it. I'm really into it. I think it's very fitting for like what the Pre-Accelerator, now IO Ignition, what we try to do and how we try to help businesses and founders and companies. I think oftentimes founders will come in and they have an idea, but they don't know what to do next, or they've built something and now they're stuck. So they've hit some type of roadblock. And then through this program, we hope to help really flip that switch and keep growing and keep moving forward. So yeah, all that kind of imagery that comes to mind with Ignition, Ignite, I think it's very fitting. Founders often say they have a lot of light bulb moments. So yeah, I'm really into it. I really like it, and we'll see where this name takes us.
Yes, no, I agree. I like the visual, the sort of the connotation, the metaphorically, like what it does, it's like, okay, it's time to get this thing started. And I think that really represents where a lot of founders, they've been stewing on an idea, but the seminal moments when they jump in our program, what used to be Pre-Accelerator, but now they're going to jump in Ignition, and now that's the launching pad to get them off and running. Now, to fill you in and give you a little bit more context on both Ignition, but also a new program that we've launched and the entire sort of suite of venture programs, we want to give you a bit of an overview here. I mean, the reality is we've been working on, we've been aware that we're going to make this brand change for quite some time, but we wanted to make the brand change at a time where we were making more holistic changes, both in terms of programming and in terms of branding the entire suite of programs. And so Ignition is part of that. And as you can see, we're really going to be branding something that we call the IO Venture Path. And part of this is, hearing from founders, everyone, and knowing that everyone walks their own path. Every founder sort of walks their own path, and we need to have the flexibility of programming to be able to adapt to them, but also to guide them as well. And obviously, part of the purpose of our support is to help create shortcuts for founders. And part of it also was to cover gaps in our programming. We've had the Pre-Accelerator, we've had the IO Accelerator, and we've had the IO Scale-Up program all roll out over the last 2 or 3 years to sort of cover that founder's journey. But we recognized, and this was one of the problems with the name of the Pre-Accelerator, there was an inference that as soon as you graduated, like you did the pitch event from the Pre-Accelerator, you were in the Accelerator. And that was never, that's never been the intent. There's a lot of time that's spent by founders after the Pre-Accelerator to get the necessary traction that's required to go into something like the Accelerator. So we created a new program called IO Flex, which is there to catch these graduates and some other founders of different profiles. So Mads, maybe you can give us an overview of IO Flex, so everyone has a little more context on that program, given that you're going to be part of the team running it with Aaron.
Yeah. So Aaron and I will work on that program together. And as Nick mentioned, it's really this program created to address this gap, between Ignition now and the Accelerator, and to support those companies in the middle. So to be eligible for this program, you've either graduated from the Pre-Accelerator, now called Ignition, or you're a really experienced founder. So maybe you're a serial entrepreneur and this isn't your first rodeo. You've been through it before. You're beyond the lessons of the Pre-Accelerator. And so, this program will offer you that light touch or on-demand style services that you need. And it really allows you, it gives you that flexibility to, lean in or lean out as much as you need and take advantage of our services to work with your company and what you need to get to that next level. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I like it because it gives, it just confirms and gives a bit more formality to the graduates of Ignition that they're going to be able to get this sustained support. There was always, internally we referred to them as limbo companies. We kept supporting them. We kept letting them meet with founders, but they were sort of caught in limbo because they weren't in the Accelerator yet. And I think it's an important distinction. Aaron and Madison will be working on obviously Ignition and Flex. And then we've got Megan and Holly as part of the team in the IO Accelerator. The Flex, part of the reason it's different and part of the reason that there's a different level of service for companies in Accelerator, part of it has to do with the size of the team and everything that's happening. Like when you start to get sustainable sales and traction in your organization, the founder or founders have typically built out multiple team members. That makes it much easier for us to have a sales advisor, a marketing advisor, a product advisor, an HR advisor. A founder at the very early stages, the graduates of Ignition, they don't need 5 or 6 advisors. They need a bit more of their early stage advisors' generalist approach. So as companies move forward, as there are companies, as we saw with Dunya Payment and Learn Experts, where both Sarah and Serge are adding all of these team members. Now is a time where that more leaned in approach of the IO Accelerator makes sense. And the IO Accelerator really, Megan and Holly focused on helping companies achieve product market fit. And our Scale Up program is one where, you're really getting to organization size of, 20, 30 people, moving on to Series A and scaling issues that, are different. We have different sets of advisors and programming there. You'll also notice from the visual here that IO Flex continues sort of in parallel to the accelerator. And the reason is that there are, we have worked with founders, and we wanted to have the flexibility where, you know, the accelerator program is more hands-on. It's more, there's a heavier cadence to it. We're really leaned in to help companies focus on product market fit and create a scalable, you know, growth machine. And there are founders that are building something a little bit slower, and that's okay, right? They have life circumstances where they've got a service company and they're building the product on the side. It doesn't make sense to get forced into an accelerator model when you don't have the time necessarily dedicate to grow the company 100%, but occasionally will want support to help with specific issues, either from an early stage advisor or maybe from a marketing advisor or something very specific. So this gives us flexibility to be more founder centric, to be able to service founders in different stages and based on their needs at a particular time. So we're really excited about it. I think we're going to be able to provide better service to a wider profile of different founders at different stages. And I think it's going to be pretty awesome. So if you have any questions on these, you can feel free to jump it into the chat there, and we'll keep an eye on that. In the meantime, we've got another vote to do here, don't we? Yes, we've got a little bit of a showdown that's going to happen. And Mads, I'm going to leave it to you to let everybody know who our two finalists are, maybe before the next poll gets released.
All right. So yes, Sam in the chat, this is a showdown. This is intense.
A throwdown.
So, yeah. So our round one winner was Emoji Genius.
People like emojis. People like emojis.
Congrats, you're in the showdown. And our round two winner was Nifty with Linda. So those are your two options for the showdown. Pick your favorite between those two. And yeah, this is intense.
This is intense. Interesting ones. People like emojis, but Linda's got that sort of sentimental side of what she's trying to do, solving a major issue in our ecosystem. So very cool. And oh my gosh, very close. Very close. So wow, this is going to be tight. This is going to be tight. Awesome. So in the meantime, folks, while those votes are being tabulated by a machine, let us know if you have any questions on any of the programs. Thank you, Lucy, and great job by Lucy, who's helped us promote this. Great job by Michelle, who's our director of venture, who worked with Rob Hyams on a lot of this branding and stuff that we put out with the venture path and talking to our clients and really listening to them and then helping us adapt the programs and the messaging that goes along with it. Done an amazing job. I feel like it's hard for people to come up with questions when they want to know who's going to win the showdown here.
Yeah, it's too intense for anyone to think.
We should also do a check-in on our judges to make sure there hasn't been like virtual fist fights thrown out there, that Aaron's like trying to separate the judges.
Yeah, I feel like you always talk about how it's this like nice little lounge that they get to go to, but I hear things get pretty heated in there.
Well, I got to participate when it was in person. That's part of the reason I'm looking back to being in person, because we used to go back into a room and have at it a little bit. But it was always interesting because the judges are it gets tight and the judges have a discussion around the top 2 or 3, and sometimes it comes down to who do they think will benefit more from the help, and that will be the swaying factor in the decision. So. So we'll see what happens there.
We'll see what happens. So our poll has ended for crowd favorite. So thank you to everyone who voted.
Oh, and I'm seeing judges starting to appear. All right, so the judges have, I think, made their decision here.
The anticipation, the silence.
And Aaron, who are we having? I think it's Drew is going to be hosting the, sort of MC. I'm going to pass it over to you, Drew. You're going to run with this, Drew, in terms of naming all the winners?
Yeah, I guess I won't be naming all of them, but I'll certainly be introducing the judges who will be. So yeah, we had those were some amazing pitches this afternoon, and it was actually quite a tough decision as a judge to sort of pick and choose between all of you and name a best pitch. So yeah, thanks for everybody coming out this afternoon and taking the time to do that. Really looking forward to seeing where where everyone goes with your businesses, and looking forward to probably using most of them at some point. So yeah, for the award for the best pitch, I'd like to introduce Flaka Hassanaj from RBC. And so yeah, Flaka, for the best pitch, take it away. And you may be on mute.
Thank you so much. Sorry, I called in a different way this time around, just so that I can be more clear. Just want to say thank you to everyone. You all did a great job, but of course there can only be one winner. We definitely had some really close-ups, so it just goes to show you that everyone did such a great job. So, but still, the judges decided that the winner is Nifty.
Okay, so are we going to bring up Nifty?
Yeah, I think they're probably trying to find Linda and spotlight her and bring her up from the crowd. She's probably like being swamped by a bunch of other people right now in a virtual sense, so it's hard to find her. So congrats, Linda. Maybe you raise your hand, Linda, if you can, and we'll make sure that, oh, there she goes. She just raised her hand, so that should be able to find, you can be able to find her. Sam, you can bring her up. It's kind of like those award shows where the person's sitting at the back and it's a long walk. It's like,
Linda's also getting a lot of love in the chat.
yes,
so.
she is. There she is.
Can you hear me? Okay, there you go. Sorry, my dog is apparently excited as well. Wow, yeah, thank you. I did not expect that at all. So yeah, I'm speechless. I don't know what to say. I'm quite talkative person. I'm very rarely speechless. So thank you very much. I didn't even know that I'd be able to make today because I was quite sick. So again, I'm sorry, I'm really speechless. But I guess what I'd like to say, actually, if I can, is I just really like to thank everybody who has so willingly jumped on board when I didn't even have a product. You know, I've had, you know, all the ESAs. Nolan Beanlands has been amazing. I mean, he helped me this week when I was, you know, not doing well at all to like come up with a clear image of my pitch. And, you know, the community partners, Hector Addison, I know you're in the audience as well from the African Canadian Association. I just feel really blessed, and I hope we can make a difference, really. Again, I'm speechless, so I'm sorry. Thank you, Invest Ottawa. Thank you, everyone. I don't know. But yeah, thank you, everyone. Wow. I was not expecting that. Oh, I'm still on. Sorry. I don't know if you want me to say more. Thank you to the judges.
I think the reaction was perfect and everything you said. So.
Yeah.
For someone who's saying they're speechless, you're doing pretty good, Linda. That was pretty good.
Yeah, I know. I don't like silences either. So just being awkward. Oh my God. Thank you, everyone. And honestly, it's just been a really a pleasure to be part of this Pre-Accelerator program. And there were so many good pitches today. So that's why I'm so surprised. There were just so many great pitches, and I hope I wish everybody success.
Excellent. So yeah, now we're on to everybody's at least the crowd's favorite for the crowd favorite pitch. I remember in the in-person pitch fest, these were always fun, scanning the QR code and going in and making the vote. So I'm going to introduce everyone to Troy from Logan Cats, Troy Elliott. He's going to announce the winner of the crowd favorite.
Thanks, Drew, and to Nick, Madison, and Aaron, of course, and the Invest Ottawa team. It's always a pleasure. I've been doing this for a number of years now, going back almost to the very beginning. So it's nice to see so many new founders, every cohort coming back, coming out, pitching, being a part of the program. I'm going to start off with a couple of honorable mentions because we did have some good debate in the judging room before we get to the crowd favorite, just to build it up a notch. We had, from a judging perspective, we were really impressed with everybody, but of course, we already know the best pitch. Runners up from our perspective, of course, going to Driven Sport and Carson Defense, both of which who had just really strong pitches overall. As stronger, of course, everybody had a good pitch, but there can only be one crowd favorite. So now we've eliminated a few, and I'm very pleased to present the crowd favorite to Emoji Genius. Very well done.
Hey, everybody.
Come on, there you are. If you had to describe how you're feeling right now in one or two emojis, which ones would you use?
Oh, man. I'm going to use one because two is too many. And yeah, yeah, I feel great. To be honest, I feel good most days. So yeah, I'm just glad, the goal was to win one of the two. And at some point I decided to win both. So I was trying to do that, but apparently I wasn't even close. So I'm glad I won the crowd favorite. But yeah, I agree that all pitches were great.
I think it's one of those things, Simon, where everybody did very well. There were no bad pitches today by any means, and I think the business proposition that you have is also strong in your area, and we're hoping, of course, that with the continued support of Invest Ottawa, that all of the participants, yourself, Nifty, and everybody else, is successful in moving forward.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's what matters. I want to thank all of you again. I've said this before throughout the program that, this program makes a big difference for all of us. And, it's been great. It's been a really great 10 weeks for me and for my business. And yeah, I'm very excited for the next 6 months. I'm really glad. And I want to thank every single person who voted for me, people who, came and watched. And these are, a lot of my friends, family members, friends of friends, and, just people who like what Invest Ottawa was doing. So I want to thank them and the judges. And again, Nick, for playing in Arrested Development. That was an amazing show. And yeah.
You're like, people don't remember Arrested Development that well. There's not enough people out there. It's not,
so for those, first of all, everybody remembers Arrested Development. For those who don't know this show, look up Jason Bateman. That's a pseudonym for Nick.
Yeah, that's where I thought I was going to go. Someone was going to go Ozark. Someone was going to go Ozark.
Yeah, so people can research that. Oh, I'll put a link on my website. How about that?
An emoji.
On the homepage.
A Bateman emoji. You can throw one of those out.
I'm going to change my homepage for today to your picture next to Jason. Anyway, but you're both handsome men. And yeah, I don't want to talk for too long. I'm just very happy and grateful.
Thanks, Simon.
Thank you.
Awesome. So those are our awards. So I guess I'll turn it back to Nick and Madison.
Awesome. Thanks, Drew. Thanks, Troy. Thanks, Flacca. That was awesome. That was funny. I actually love the exchange there because it was like Simon came on. He's the people's choice, but he's talking to the judges and it feels like he's got a bit of a chip on his shoulder. Like, okay, I guess it wasn't even, no, I wanted both, but you guys don't even think like he was like more like he wanted to pick a fight with the judges over it. But I think that's going to drive Simon. That's part of his thing. You know, he wanted it all, and you know, you shoot for the stars and you get the moon maybe, or something like that. So anyway, thank you to our judges. Thank you for Sarah as well for participating. You know, Mads, you want to give a last call for Ignition now? You can use the official brand.
Yeah, exactly. So come join us. It's still cohort 12, but it's our first Ignition cohort, which is really exciting. New name, same program. So yeah, again, if anyone wants to chat or has any questions, feel free to reach out, and otherwise get those applications in before Monday.
Awesome. Great job, everybody. Thanks for everyone. Thank you to Samantha. Thank you to Lucy. Thank you to Aaron, obviously, and the rest of the IO team for making this happen. And amazing job to all of the founders out there today and all of their pitches. You guys did an amazing job, and look forward to seeing some of you in person, hopefully not too far down the road.